Hello, hello, and welcome to Quarter Life Crisis. That's cry as in and sis as in hey sis. And I am your host, I am a day. I'm sure you can hear that there's noise going on again in the background, but there's not much I can do about it. I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and edit down the sound in the background as much as possible. But once again, you're welcome for the ambient noise. It can't be helped. And before we carry on though, whilst the band has stopped playing, why don't we take in a deep breath? In, out. Perfect timing, huh? How you doing? How you feeling? I hope you're feeling good and all right. And I hope that the topic of today's podcast doesn't make you feel too down. But I want to talk about it. Today we're going to talk about insecurities, how it pervades, what it means for us to be insecure. I want this to be a bit more structured than some of the other episodes, but I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm going to try and keep it concise. Okay, so question: what are you insecure about? Does it have to do with your physical appearance, your talents, or lack thereof? I mean, according to you, if you think that. I'm not saying you're talentless. That's what I'm saying. I'm just asking. You might think you are. You're probably not, though. Are you insecure about how much you know or don't know? Are you insecure about how much money you have or don't have? Are you insecure about facets of your personality, your relationships? Are you insecure about how worthy of love you think you are? The list is kind of like endless, right? Like everyone is insecure. At least that's what we're told and what people say. And if you think about like everyone's insecure to differing levels, right? I mean, think about all the stupid shit in our world that's done because of insecurities, all the wars, all the greed, all the violence, all the trauma that's committed because someone is fucking insecure, right? So it's like, how do we work on that? How do we work on being more secure as human beings, or even having more security in our lives? So not just, like the security when I talk about that's another thing. The word secure and insecurity are going to be said a lot. I'm talking about like you can be insecure about yourself, and then you can be insecure about things to do with your life, right? So like, how do we work on that? There are ways of like, I guess you can like accept yourself, because maybe that's really the thing, like resistance. But it's hard. It can be hard to do when things or people around you are telling you, not to accept yourself, or that there's something wrong with you. Which is what I wanted to like even go on to. When do insecurities start? Because I don't think we're born with them, but maybe it starts as soon as we're born, or as soon as we become like cognizant of the world around us. Because I think whether they mean to or not, our parents project their insecurities on us, friends and family around us project insecurities on us, and the world sure as fuck projects insecurities on us. The world always tells us something we can fix, right? That we're not quite there yet. Because like for capitalism to work, a base level of insecurity has to exist. If we believed and lived in a world that encouraged us, or if society didn't say that there was something to fix, if we all thought we were perfect just the way we were, we wouldn't buy as much. I think we'd definitely still buy things. We'd still buy food, for example, and drink. And like, of course, we'd still have fun with our wardrobes, and people would have fun with their makeup and all that kind of stuff. But I think it would be coming from places of creativity and expression rather than necessity and belonging and insecurity, So, the big bad Mr. C word, capitalism, got us once again. So knowing all this, and I already asked, how do we work on that? How do we heal? How do we get to a place of feeling secure within ourselves and secure within who we are and the things around us? When you're out and about, how do you know, or like when you have conversation with people, or even like, in books and in movies, when they're like, oh, when they describe people like, oh, she was so sure of herself. She knew this, and she was confident, she was bold, and she was secure, and da-da-da-da, right? We have these secure people that we deem as secure. But even they say they have insecurities, right? At least to some extent. That's always like, whether it be a real celebrity or again, someone in the film, like there might be like the little underdog saying that, oh, you have this and this and this, you're perfect. And then the person like, oh, I'm not perfect. I'm insecure about my ass. Or I'm insecure because like my parents are getting a divorce and I don't know like where I belong in this world anymore. I'm insecure, you know what I mean? So I would say most days I am secure in my physical appearance, or in how I look and how I feel about myself. Sometimes, though, I do have my days where I'm just kind of like, I'm not feeling myself so much. And I remember watching an interview with Jennifer Lawrence years back. It was back in her like Katniss, in her Katniss Everdeen days. And she was having an interview and she was like, yeah, you know, like I didn't want to lose weight because I wanted girls with different body types to be represented. And blah, she was saying, but like, you know, I'm confident in myself. I like my body. But there are days when I look in the mirror and I'm like, that's not it, sis. So whenever I feel like that, I think about that interview. I'm like, someone as beautiful and as revered as, you know, like everyone put Jennifer Lawrence on a pedestal, who still has meh days about herself, you know? That's an example. Although again, obviously this is just what she's projecting. I don't know her personally, but like that's an example of someone who is secure and, you know, doesn't have anything to prove to anyone, but will still have their insecure days. And then you have people who are insecure, and you can see it like from the moment they enter the room. You're like, this person does not like themselves, or is not secure about themselves. And I think there's always two ways in which these insecurities can play out, or someone who's super insecure, they go down one of two routes, which is like the super like shy, timid, maybe not even shy, because a shy person is not necessarily insecure, but doesn't talk much, or like cowers and doesn't like looking at their reflection, or like, you know, it's easy to like talk down to because they're insecure about themselves. And then you have the flip side of people who are insecure, who are super egotistical and buy the flashiest cars, for example, or have the flashiest clothes because they are compensating for something that they feel insecure about, right? So you have the people who maybe the insecurity is more, I think both of them actually, the insecurity is really obvious, but I think to the person who's quite egotistical, they think that like to other people it's not. But I think we're all a lot smarter than I guess we give each other credit for. So like, how do you differentiate between the person who is secure in general, overall, that has their moments of insecurity, and differentiate the person who's just super insecure, like secure about nothing? And then what about the people who like lie in the middle and are just normal people? Not that the secure person or the insecure person are not normal. And do we need to differentiate? It's just a question. This is a very get your thinking hats, what do you think episode. And you know what's funny, actually, as I'm recording this episode, I don't know if I'm completely secure with this idea or rambling that I brought to you guys. And I'm not sure if I'm ever really secure when I hop on this mic and start talking. I think this idea has been in my mind, but sometimes when I write things down, I can get really stuck to what I've written down and making sure I say all of that rather than like just letting things flow. I'm trying to find a good in between, because I think sometimes when I just let things flow, it really turns into a jumbled mess. Sometimes. Yeah, but I just wanted to have that moment of like, you know, I'm talking about insecurity and I'm feeling a little bit insecure about the things I'm saying. I'm insecure about whether they're going to make sense. I'm insecure about whether you even want to listen to them. I'm insecure about like, if you're like, what the fuck is she talking about, you know? But you know what? I had this idea. It's okay if it doesn't make sense to anyone but myself. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I asked, how can we tell the difference between insecure people? But also, like, what about the insecurities that are valid? Insecurities that are valid, or insecurities that can be worked on. So, like, if someone feels insecure about their money knowledge, or like their investing, if someone feels insecure about their ability to invest, for example, what would be done there? They would go and learn how to invest better so they can feel secure about that, I guess. Or someone who just felt insecure about the knowledge about something, or even like insecurities that like to the person are valid. You're not secure in your math knowledge, you work on that. You try to get better at maths. You're not secure about, or like, you know that you have an annoying habit of, I don't know, picking your nose, and you're insecure about that. I think the really important question is it possible to even feel secure about every area of ourselves and our lives? Because I think obviously when we look at the word insecurity, or we talk about it, it's looked at negativity, mostly for good reason. But also, like, is it even possible to be a completely secure person? Like, is it possible in this lifetime to reach like peak acceptance where nothing bothers you, where you're like secure about not just yourself but your life and what goes on in your life? I'm not sure, especially if we look at the life part of that question, because like the only constant in life is change, and there's so many things that are uncertain about life, and I think uncertainty breeds insecurity just naturally. So maybe like not in life we can't be secure, or not always secure, but what about like within ourselves? Can we be secure? Can we feel secure? I don't know, because I mean there's the whole like radical acceptance thing, and looking at every single part of you and knowing it and accepting it. And if there are things that need to be worked on, you work on it, but you continue to accept it for what it is until it's something else, you know? But maybe to be a human being, maybe insecurities are a prerequisite for being human. Maybe we all have to have a smidgen of insecurity for the world to go around. Maybe. What do you think, though? Are you insecure about things? I'm sure you are. What things are you insecure about? Are there things that you used to be insecure about that you're not insecure about anymore? Do you think that there is space for, or do you think it's possible for a human being to achieve peak security about themselves? Because I think, because I know I mentioned that, like, okay, maybe we can never be fully secure in life as a general thing, but like we can be secure in ourselves. And I think maybe if we are able to attain this like complete security in ourselves, then it helps for when we go through the uncertain areas in life or the unsecure parts of life, because we're like, okay, I have faith in myself, for security in myself, that I can do this and this, or like, you know, yeah, I believe in myself, I accept myself. And so even though this part of my life is unsure, uncertain, insecure, I have one thing that, you know, that I know I can trust, and that I know how moves through hard times or amazing times, you know? That's what I got for you. That's the end of this episode. It was a short one. But you can find me on Instagram at @iamid_night. You can find me on TikTok, iamidnight with a K, no underscore. And you can find me on YouTube, unless you're listening to this on YouTube already. And thank you for listening to Quarter Life Crisis. I hope you'll stay a while and lend me your ears again next week. Bye!